Hey everyone, welcome back to News for Sonic Freaks, because comics, movies, games, and more. My name is Ronnie, and today we're going to be talking about Miles Morales making it to the MCU in Marvel Studios' upcoming Spider-Man 4. It's also Sony's, because, you know, Sony still owns the character. Just a reminder, of course, Spider-Man is being shared with Sony and Marvel Studios, so just wanted to remind you all. But Sony really wants to push for a 2025 release rather than a 2026 release. Also, Kevin Feige doesn't want the new Spider-Man movie to come out until like at least 2026 because, you know, he has plans for other properties. And Sony, knowing them, they want to make a movie as soon as possible because they know Spider-Man is a major cash cow and they want Miles Morales in it. And I can only hope that Miles gets the Spider-Man PS4 treatment, meaning that he only gets introduced as a side character, or at least a side main character, I guess you can say, in Feast. Kind of similarly how he was introduced in Spider-Man PS4. And I don't want him to have a costume in Spider-Man 4 because it'd be way too soon. Let him have his own character arc. Perhaps he gets bitten near the end of the film and then he becomes Spider-Man, you know, in his own movie the next time we get to see him, you know, with the whole costume and everything. So I have the article here from Dexerto, and it says here Miles reportedly set to make MCU arrival in Spider-Man 4. And the future of the MCU and various Marvel characters is very much so up in the air in the moment, with Deadpool and Wolverine the only MCU film to release in 2024, and WeWorks plaguing the upcoming Avengers films to phase out Kang as the main villain. Fans have been curious as to how the likes of Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, and more will evolve into the MCU. And while much is still unknown, a new rumor has begun circulating on the internet claiming that Miles will be introduced in the next live-action Tom Holland Spider-Man film. And this rumor has been circulating around a lot of other content creators who do what I do, that talk about mainly Marvel stuff and Spider-Man stuff. And they've been making, you know, talking about these reports. And right now it's just a rumor, but there's got to be a little bit of fact to these rumors if it's spreading like wildfire. And honestly, it's quite credible, if in my opinion, only because it sounds like something Sony would want to do. I mean, we already have Miles Morales into the Spider-Verse and Across the Spider-Verse films, both huge box office successful films. I can't speak tonight. It's understandable as to why Sony would want Miles to appear, but we got to do it, I guess you can say, the Marvel Studios way, where Kevin Feige, I mean, at least it hasn't been exactly like that for the past couple of years, not since Endgame, but Disney and Marvel Studios are at least reworking everything and looking overall like the big picture, because there's also something else entirely, by the way. Apologies for going off on a tangent here, or at least getting off topic. Marvel Studios and Disney are reworking the whole MCU slate, and they're also thinking about just going back to the drawing board and focusing mainly on movies and weeding out the Disney Plus stuff, because all that Disney Plus shows that we've gotten in the last few years since Endgame has kind of been like a huge clutter. It started off pretty strong with WandaVision and Loki, but it's been kind of a mess ever since, and I have to admit, it has been. There's only been some really good ones here and there, but a lot of it was just disappointment and a horrible mess. So this tweet says here from Screen Time, it says Marvel Studios reportedly plan to introduce Miles Morales in Spider-Man 4. And this rumor comes from Daniel Rickman, who's also a very credible source and who has been right in the past for a lot of things and also wrong. But he's been known to reveal major details and spoilers in regards to various upcoming Marvel projects. And while the exact details of Miles Morales' live action debut are unknown, Rickman does claim that the character will be introduced in some capacity in Spider-Man 4. While many know and love Peter Parker's version of the web-slinging hero, Miles has been pushed majorly in recent years as being a mainline Spider-Man. Originally, Miles Morales hails from the Ultimate Universe Earth 1610. He gets spider powers after being bitten by a genetically altered spider that was stolen by his uncle, Aaron Davis, aka the Prowler. Between starring as the leading character in the Spider-Verse films as well as becoming the dual protagonist of the 2023 video game, Spider-Man 2, Morales is also on his way to being a recognizable version of Spider-Man. Of course, time will tell whether these rumors are true, given that the whole plot, cast, and potential release window of Spider-Man 4 is completely shrouded in mystery. It is unclear when plot details for the new film will be revealed. However, we'll be sure to keep you updated on the latest Spider-Man 4 news and if Morales will appear in the next film. I can only hope that, again, like they do this the right way, where they don't rush him in there and they don't put him in a costume. I hear word about Sony saying, you know, wanting Spider-Man 4 to be another multiverse film, when we don't need that anymore. We need a street level Spider-Man, just like how like in the first couple of movies were rather street levels, even though they had main big villains from the comics appear in those films. They were very grounded, personal movies. And that's what Kevin Feige wants for Spider-Man. We already had our huge Avengers team up, multiverse film. Spider-Man has appeared in various Avengers films, and also, the sequels have been pretty big, including No Way Home, which is the biggest Spider-Man movie there was, and that was a multiversal film. We don't need another one of those. After this, after like revisiting something like that, it can get pretty tiring. And I want something new, but something that's more, I guess you can say, humble and more grounded. And a street level based movie starring Spider-Man is something that we're looking for, especially for Tom Holland. Tom Holland, he's got Spider-Man has no money. He made his own costume, and I want him to fight like just street level thugs, with of course being like the main villain being like the main boss. It could be Shocker, it could be the MCU's version of Green Goblin, it could be whatever. We need somebody to face Spider-Man in this one, and it's got to be just grounded and personal. The direction that Sony's taking their Spider-Man verse movies that they're doing, where it's Spider-Man less, which has no Spider-Man, they honestly don't know what they're doing, and they're only making these movies for the sake of keeping the rights, and that's pretty much it. The way I see it, Sony should allow Marvel Studios to keep the rights to Spider-Man so they can have more creative control of Spider-Man, while Sony just sits there and twiddles their thumbs and collects their paycheck when the movies are huge box office success. Because these movies, like, that have been coming out, like Madam Web, Morbius, for example, they're throwaways. Like, Madam Web failed in the box office. Nobody asked for those movies. We don't need these movies. And I certainly believe that Kraven the Hunter, the next Sonyverse Spider-Man movie, is going to fail. It's gonna flop. And I don't know about Venom 3. Venom's like the only Spider-Man-less movies that are actually considered to be a success, even though critically speaking, it's not that great. It doesn't have a great score in Rotten Tomatoes. Anyway, I think Sony needs to stop with these Spider-Man-less movies and stop making Spider-Man villain spin-off films, because they don't make any sense. They're stupid. They're only doing it just for the sake of keeping on to the rights, and that's it. Because they're contractually obligated to make a movie, I believe, every 1 or 2 years or so. That's a lot of Spider-Man movies to make, and you can only like put like so many ideas on paper, and eventually, not eventually, I guess you can say they are creatively bankrupt when it comes to making movies not featuring Spider-Man, but that's based on Spider-Man, which is basically their villains. Like, it makes no sense. I do stand with Kevin Feige on this one. According to the reports, he does want to make a grounded Spider-Man movie, and that's the direction that Marvel Studios should head in when it comes to making a new Spider-Man movies. If you want those big, spectacular, larger-than-life movies featuring Spider-Man, then save that for the upcoming next 2 Avengers movies that are supposedly going to be hitting theaters around 2026, 2027. If not, I think 2027, 2028, with the whole issue and the controversy with Jonathan Majors, who played Kang, because I think they're going to be doing away with that character, and they're going to have a new big bad step in and take over the role. It could be Doctor Doom, it could be the Beyonder, it could be whatever. But whatever it is that they decide to do, Marvel Studios has a lot of work to do. And I hope that Spider-Man is given the treatment that he deserves. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. What are your thoughts about Miles Morales probably appearing in Spider-Man 4? Comment down below with your thoughts and theories. And as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. Click on the bell notifications so you don't miss anything. Dislike the video if you did. And I'll see you all in the next comic panel.